Activision Blizzard's sale has finally been approved to Microsoft. It's happened, boys. That's it. The days of Bobby Kotick and his boat just ruling over the legacy of World of Warcraft is now over. That is because now Microsoft owns World of Warcraft. Well, at least as of now, if you're watching this post 9 a.m. on Friday the 13th. Yes, on Friday the 13th, the merger happened, of all things. So there you go. And it has been approved. The last thing that was holding it up was the British Competition Committee, and they have officially approved it. So there you go. I've always thought this was good news. I've always thought this was a great thing. Not because, I hate Bobby, which, he's done what he's done in the game. It is what it is. But I think this is going to bring a lot of dev power to Microsoft into World of Warcraft. Now, trust me, some people think, oh, Microsoft only did this because they want Call of Duty. Get the fuck out of here. World of Warcraft is the #1 MMO still in the world. It generates millions of dollars a month in revenue and still has a large player base when compared to other MMOs. Now, people always love to say, oh, dead game because it doesn't have the same numbers that it had back in the Wrath days. No MMO is even close to those Wrath days, okay? When we compare World of Warcraft to other MMOs today, it's still #1. And trust me, with companies like Amazon and shit making like their 3rd and 4th MMO now, they just released the New World expansion. You got Riot out there making an MMO. The MMO genre, you also got the little guys out there, making their own MMOs too all the time. Ashes of Creation is one of them for sure. The MMO genre has a strong future. Not just because of metaverse and all this weird shit going on, but MMOs in general, I think I see a lot of big companies investing a ton of money into them. And trust me, part of what Microsoft did here was instead of making their own, they went out and just bought the best MMO of them all. Yes, so get World of Warcraft on Game Pass? I don't know. But does this bring the possibility of a WoW 2 perhaps someday? Maybe. Now, what would that mean? Let's get into this a little bit more. So again, the purchase is for $68.7 billion. Microsoft is buying Activision Blizzard. They're going to own all the titles. Now, part of this whole, competition committee in England and all, and what they were worried about was, had to do with some Call of Duty stuff. So don't worry, Call of Duty will still be on PlayStation and all that. What it is with that. You're probably going to see things like more of these, titles from Blizzard and Activision on Game Pass, which is awesome for people who own it, which I do. But all in all, it's a great, I think, thing for the game, and it looks like the community is reacting as well. It's over. The community in general seems pretty happy, I would say, about this purchase, and I think it's because a lot of us see it as, well, things couldn't get any worse after Shadowlands. So I think just more dev power, more money from Microsoft. Obviously, they've got some of the deepest pockets in the world in terms of a corporation. I think it gives us a chance to see, a Blizzard and Microsoft together giving World of Warcraft the love it truly deserves. I mean, oh no. Yeah, there's a ton of great things coming out of this, I personally think. And when I saw the news, I was very happy. It was somewhat inevitable. But it was nice to see that it finally went through. So again, today at 9 a.m., as of 9 a.m., Microsoft will officially own World of Warcraft. And remember, we talked about revamps and all that stuff and what it meant for the game. Ian Hazzikostas did indeed confirm that a revamp is likely to happen. Now remember, this interview happened a while back. This was back last month with Game Rant. And during that interview, he said a revamp is likely to happen. Now, we've talked about revamps and all that, and we've talked about WoW 2 in general and how, revamping the entirety of the world and what that would mean for the game. And that really is what people are talking about when they talk about a WoW 2. They're also kind of talking about restarting from level 1. I don't know if that would ever happen. But what I can say is we have a World of Warcraft 20th anniversary coming up, right? Not for this next expansion. Not, the one coming up right now that they're going to announce at BlizzCon, but it would technically be midway between this one and the next one. And I think if we're ever going to see like a big, dense revamp of the world in general, it'll be then. So not this expansion coming up, but the one after, I think could be the WoW 2-esque revamp that we've all been looking for in the game. And I would totally be very excited for that. I think the game needs it. Looking at player characters today and how all of our characters have been revamped. All of our characters are like in full 4K now. They look great. The gear looks great. The facial models and everything. We've gotten tons of new customizations. They all look great. But then you walk with that character into Ungoro Crater, and it's a rough one to look at, to say the least. So, I think the world needs it, and I think we might get it, especially with this added power from the Microsoft purchase in the what would be the 12.0 expansion? Yeah, it would be the 12.0 expansion. I hope it happens. And this purchase finally going through today, it just makes it seem even more likely. Moving on to a little bit of in-game stuff that's going on right now. Just a little tidbits here before we go. We're going to review some DPS for 11.0 going forward, and some of the sexy weapons that are coming. Now, I haven't seen this animation yet, but this is the Falalath. Oh my god, I said that wrong. The Dream Renderer. This is the legendary weapon that Paladins, Warriors, and Death Knights will be using, and this is how it's animated. This thing looks great. This thing looks amazing, and it does remind me of Shadowmourne as well, which makes me even more excited to get it. And all in all, the animations look great. They're still not sure exactly how we're going to get it, but we have confirmed that it is not a drop-off for Rock, but instead a quest that you're going to be doing to get that. Now, this is not only this is not the only new weapon coming to the game in 11.0, but we got a new weapon coming with the next season of Mythic Plus. Yeah. Next season of Mystic Plus, we are going to Ravencrest Manor and all that, and the weapon that Lord Ravencrest uses himself is going to be available and lootable. Yeah, so check this thing out. This is a pretty cool looking dragon sword. I never realized that Lord Ravencrest even uses a dragon sword, but there it is. So now it's going to be something that's lootable, which it wasn't before, and you'll be able to get that for transmog at least. There's nothing special about the weapon itself. There's no special abilities as or anything. It's just a regular sword. But it definitely is cool looking, and it'll be something that I think transmoggers will be chasing because, again, it's literally a dragon head with a blade coming out the mouth. So it looks great, I think, and I think it's going to be something that people are going to chase down for transmog. So DPS rankings, we've been looking at them now for 10.2. This is what we're seeing so far. For Season 3, 10.2 DPS rankings, and here they are. Now, we know that we've been seeing, some of the, priests and all that near the top. Shadow Priest has been going nuts this last season. It was part of the meta. We know things like Unholy DK were doing great in rating. But right now, it looks like Beast Mastery Hunter is at the tippity top of the charts. Big dicking around. Feral Druid also doing really good here. Which is nice to see. I mean, this is the Druid patch after all, so you would want to kind of see them doing good. It just makes sense in terms of lore, I guess. Frost Mage, Outlaw Rogue is getting a complete rework. And it looks like that rework is going really well in their favor because Outlaw Rogue is now a top 5 DPS for Mythic Plus going forward. / rating. Oh, wow, look at that. This is the patchwork rating. Okay, Mythic Raid Test. I didn't even realize that. Oh, this is rating. Oh, shit. So Unholy took a big hit here. Unholy for rating has actually been the #1 DPS for this entire season, pretty much, in rating. So now it's mid-tier. Some skill will get you up, I'm sure. Same with Shadow Priest. Where is...
Emotional damage!
Yeah, I'm interested in where our Evoker friends are. Okay, so Devastation Evoker is right here. Where... Oh, wow. What the hell? Where? They don't have it, I guess. They don't have the other Evoker spec? It's not on here? Okay, I guess it's not on here. I guess they're having trouble still mapping that out or figuring out what that looks like. Again, Shadow Priest Unholy, Subtitty Rogue, I should say. Fury Warrior, Balanced Druid, Marksmanship Hunter, Herding, Frost DK, not so good. Here it is, Augmentation Evoker. It doesn't even have a bar, so I guess they haven't been able to properly test that out yet because if you look at the previous charts, it's been Unholy DK and Augmentation Evoker, top 2 like the entire season pretty much. So it's interesting to see that they can't really market that out. Windwalker Monk still hurting. Ret Pally's been basically the same this entire time. So these are interesting. Yeah, looks like Hunter, Druids, Mages, and Rogues and Warlocks are going to have a good time this next patch. Look at that, all 3 mage specs near the top. They haven't tested the Legendary on PTR. That is a good point, Tidewell. That is a good point, and I'm sure that'll change things, especially we're talking, that would really affect Death Knights, Warriors, and Paladins. So we'll see how their DPS looks once that has been tested.